Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
Patriotic locals have come out swinging against a Queensland minister questioning why anybody would want to travel to Tasmania. The comments have sparked a rivalry in the wake of the state government's travel bubble decision.
Pristine, picturesque, unique. Tasmania's assets unquestionable.
I think we've got probably the best beaches in the world.
Locals labelling comments from Queensland's Deputy Premier made yesterday miles off the mark.
I don't see any reason why anyone would want to go to Tassie.
Why would you not want to come to Tassie? We've got everything here.
Well, I wouldn't want to go to Queensland for any reason at all, so I'm very happy here in Tasmania.
You know, that's his opinion, so, you know, but come and visit. You might change his mind.
The remarks follow news Tasmania will soon form a travel bubble with Western Australia, South Australia and the Northern Territory. Based on public health advice, Queensland isn't included for now.
Let's just not let them over. Just keep the borders closed. I'm quite happy about that.
No, I think they should be able to come here. I don't see that we need to quarantine them out.
Roger Jensch keeping the peace.
We've got to look after the health of Tasmanians first and foremost. We look forward to having Queenslanders visiting Tasmania again as soon as it's safe to do so.
I think what we got from the Deputy Premier was a little bit of protecting his own state and a fair whack of disappointment that he can't visit and drink some of our fantastic beer.
Queenslanders make up a large chunk of visitor numbers, rugging up for iconic festivals, produce and downtime. Many flock to the wilderness for internationally envied bike trails.
Obviously, we're disappointed. I mean, everyone in the tourism industry would be. That certainly doesn't mean we don't understand it.
Simon French says they've had an influx of inquiries from Queenslanders wanting to travel here as soon as it's allowed. The business hoping the advice will soon swing in their favour.
We will continue to ride it out. We're in a pretty good spot and we're just waiting to see what these borders do really over the next few months.
Louise Hubar, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians quarantining in a Hobart hotel have spilled onto the street after a fire alarm was set off. Those spending time at the Travel Lodge on Collins Street evacuated the premises wearing face masks. One guest said she was happy to receive some fresh air. The incident has now been cleared. A 17-year-old boy remains in a critical condition in the Royal Hobart Hospital following a multi-car crash on the Bass Highway on Friday night. The youth was a passenger in a Holden ute which struck 3 other vehicles when trying to overtake near Westbury. He was thrown from the vehicle on impact and airlifted from the scene to Hobart for treatment. The driver received non-life-threatening injuries. And a 28-year-old woman has sustained serious injuries in a head-on collision on the Midland Highway last night. Police say she crossed onto the wrong side of the road, entering Oatlands, caused by inattention. The Westpac rescue helicopter transported her to the Royal Hobart Hospital, where she remains in a stable condition. The 52-year-old driver of the other vehicle received minor injuries. Partygoers mourning the cancelled Falls Festival can schedule another big event in its place for New Year's Eve. A new 3-night music celebration at the Good Shed on Hobart's waterfront is set to welcome in 2021, with tickets on sale tomorrow to see interstate headliners Jungle Giants and Yacht Club DJs, as well as a raft of local artists.
As we start announcing more acts and selling more tickets, then people will start to realise that there is something on around New Year's, which is what we need.
Organisers say contingency plans are in place if COVID-19 restrictions change in Tasmania. Tasmanians sleeping rough on the northwest coast can now access another roof over their heads. The Safe Space program delivering an overnight refuge in Burnie, offering shelter as well as links to community services to get those vulnerable off the streets.
Due to COVID, that is an increasing pressure on the system. So anybody that is experienced primary homelessness has a space that they can come to for a bed, for a meal, as long as they need.
The 24/7 service also operates in Launceston and Hobart. A Campania winery has hosted a spectacular Dogs' Day Out in a show of support for a critical Tasmanian charity. Wobbly Boot Vineyards sending tails wagging, with their owners more than impressed.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a happier bunch.
Lots of dogs.
Content canines and their over-the-moon owners relaxing amongst the vines at Wobbly Boot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some lunch and a glass of wine.
Gorgeous sunshine, the dogs get to have a run around, mums get to have a wine, children get to have a play.
Wine and Wolf's one of the busiest days on the dog lovers circuit.
Getting all the dogs together, letting them loose and just interact and be social.
If you keep the dogs happy, their parents are happy as well.
While it is poocher's paradise, there is a serious side. These events raise money for animal welfare but haven't been held since the pandemic.
People are wanting to get out and do things again, and they want to get out and support a really good cause.
This one's for Guide Dogs Tasmania. The organisation has borne the brunt of the pandemic but still worked to train puppies over that time, each training regime costing $50,000.
It has been very challenging to continue to raise funds. Today is a great opportunity to raise some more money.
Another event is expected to be held in spring. Louise Hubar, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, our beloved poochers have a new upgraded area to play in, with the Drew Point exercise area at Margate receiving a much-needed makeover. The 20-year-old spot now featuring a new agility course to teach old dogs new tricks and improve facilities for owners and their four-legged friends.
Oh, it's just beautiful. The environment's gorgeous, the off-leash. The new equipment they've put in is absolutely fantastic for the dogs. Keeps them occupied. They all get to socialise. It's wonderful.
It's also important to exercise their minds by using the agility equipment. So happy dogs will perhaps not dig in the backyard or bark quite as much. It's just good for their health and it's good for their owner's health too.
The area was one of the first dedicated dog parks in Tasmania. And in the NPL, Glenorchy Knights have beaten Olympia for the first time in 8 years with a huge 3-1 win at KG5. While there were farcical scenes in last night's clash between Launceston City and the Devonport Strikers, City striker Samuel Ridgard had just scored a goal when he tried to fight Devonport's goalie for the ball. A scrap between the two sides ensued, and for his efforts, Ridgard was red-carded. Devonport won the clash 2-1. While in the Women's Super League, Olympia thrashed Kingborough 6-0 and Clarence Zebras beat South Hobart 4-0. After months sitting idle, Tasmania's best off-road riders have started their engines once again. 2020's Grass Track Series is more important than ever as riders are preparing to face the country's fiercest competitors on home turf.
The bikes are back, and for Burnie speedster Tate Young, it's a sound he's been waiting months to hear. He's among dozens kicking into gear for round one of this year's Grass Track Series, which had stalled because of the virus.
It's awesome when you win a race.
The 14-year-old has already been racing competitively for half his life. It's become an obsession.
Spending all the time on the bike as much as I can and riding at home and, yeah, gotten a lot better.
These races at Whitemoor are part of the warm-up for the nation's premier off-road competition, which is heading to Wynyard later this year. Reigning EJ champion Kyron Bacon usually has to race the entire series on the mainland.
It's good to get that bit of a spark in you again, and hopefully this can keep going on with the next few races and other events opening back up.
Railton's Jonty Reinders will also make a serious push for a national title. Years of hard work paid off recently when he secured a young rider's holy grail, a contract with factory team Sherco Australia.
Oh yeah, it's super important. Like, I've worked all my life, and to finally reach that point, it just makes my job a lot easier. I can just focus on myself and don't have to focus on coming back in and working on my bike.
Will Schuring is itching to reach the same heights. So far, he's doing all the right things, even offering up his family's property for this round of racing.
It was built a week ago, but I wasn't allowed to ride on it all week.
Results-wise, Jonty Reinders claimed the King of the Paddock crown, followed by Kyron Bacon in second and Bailey Davies in third.
I love it. It's in my blood now, so it's good.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening. Hobart reached a high of 14 today, 13 across Launceston and Devonport, 12 in Burnie. Friendly Beaches was the state's top with 15. Smith and Lowhead and St Helens all reached 13 and 14 in Flinders Island. On the close-up shows fog about the west of the state clearing through the day, while high-level cloud drifted over the north of Tasmania. Further out, a large area of cloud covers much of Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland. Tomorrow shows a trough crossing Tasmania in the morning and is followed by a high-pressure system that drifts down from South Australia. Northwesterly winds tomorrow, 15 to 25 knots, swells up to 4 metres in the west and south and below 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for northern and eastern coastal waters from Sandy Cape to Wineglass Bay and for southwestern coastal waters from southeast Cape to Low Rocky Point. Tomorrow's forecast now: Hobart, partly cloudy, 12 about Dover and Ouse. In the north, early rain, then mostly sunny right across Launceston, Devonport and Scottsdale. Burnie tomorrow, mostly sunny, Strawn, early showers, 15 in Stanley. St Helens 14, 13 and early rain across Swansea and Ross. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast, Tuesday fine with morning frost right across the state. Wednesday showers about the west and central areas, and Thursday showers about the west and far south, fine elsewhere. Capital cities, showers in Canberra tomorrow, Brisbane 21 and showers developing at Perth. And currently in Hobart, partly cloudy, Launceston 9 and Devonport 9 and mostly cloudy. That's all for weather tonight, Rach.
Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week. Good night.